At the Urban Land Institute, the vision that we have is to engage the private sector in addressing the workforce housing needs, in providing housing for firemen and policemen and teachers and nurses close to where they work, because as you may know, people spend as much on transportation as they spend on housing because of their inability to secure decent housing close to work.
Did you have any thoughts coming into this job as to what needed to be done?
Well, certainly the need for better regulatory structure was obvious the first time you looked at them.
I hope everybody knows of our collective respect for the Urban Land Institute.
Workforce housing historically hasn't really been put in the right place. It's been put in locations distant from employment and oftentimes not even on transit lines.
Today, I'm delighted to have the opportunity to welcome our distinguished panel, 4 legendary housing leaders.
And if you want to take on one of the most important jobs in this country and one of the most difficult, then you have to sit in the seat of these gentlemen.
It's a crisis in America for teachers, for police men and women, for firemen and women, to have to live so far beyond the availability of their job.
I would readily acknowledge that the greatest housing challenge we face in the United States today is affordable rental.
When I became Secretary of HUD, it followed a period in which cities across America had been burning, and many were on the threshold of bankruptcy. So that the emphasis of HUD, while it was always on housing too, it changed to the urban policy concept. We were trying to save cities.
We did a lot of Hope 6 development. And for us, that was a program that taught us a lot of lessons. And so one of the things that we tried to do is leverage that experience into providing really first-class workforce housing.
It was so popular that we had 3,000 families sign up for this program through the city and qualified people for these homes.
Most of the resources that were aggregated were state finance sources. The local contribution really came in the donation of the 12 acres under a 99-year ground lease to the developer.
The nation is fortunate to have a housing secretary with such an extensive housing background.
And I will say that the only thing in the world that could have kept me from joining the board of the Terwilliger Center was the offer I got from President Obama. The goal of this initiative is not just to develop plans. This partnership works to tackle the interlinked challenges of affordable housing and transportation that ULI's very own report entitled Beltway Burdens recently highlighted.
For nearly 4 decades, Henry Cisnero has dedicated his life to building stronger communities in America.
This is Fox 5 News at 10.
Now, a lot of families try to save money by living outside the Beltway and then driving the long commute to work. But living that far away can also be a burden, especially for families trying to make it on a middle-class income.
A new study from the Urban Land Institute suggests working families living in the outer suburbs are actually paying almost $2,000 a year more than people in the inner suburbs for the privilege of a longer commute.
You're watching ABC 7 News at 5 on your side.
You think that living in the suburbs is saving you money? Think again.
In fact, a new study finds that for those living 15 miles or more from work, higher transportation costs more than offset lower housing prices. The Urban Land Institute launched a new online cost calculator today. You plug in where you live and work, and it estimates your transportation costs compared to your housing costs.